Sometimes in life, you hit rock bottom. Fortunately, it's only uphill from here.
If you wanna have to leave your home, just mess with a bottle of comb. You gotta make it to the woods if you can. If you can, if you can, you gotta make it to the woods if you can.
Apart from It's a Sin, Heartstopper Season 3 is the only show I've been both excited and terrified to watch. Heartstopper Season 3 is astonishingly well made, but it is brutal. Just when Charlie starts feeling better, Tara has a panic attack. Next, Elle has dysphoria. And then Elle walks out of her radio interview with this appalling announcer and she doesn't want to paint anymore and... Heartstopper, I love you, but can we go back to snow angels and unrequited crushes for a bit, please? Because you used to be my comfort TV show, and this was traumatic. Seriously, my emotional support animal was squeezed within an inch of her life watching this show. Nick and Charlie are easily the best thing about Season 3. The first 3 episodes are a visceral realisation of mental illness. Disturbing imagery and colours bring this subject matter to life. We've already seen Charlie surrounded by black shadows to represent trauma. It's tragic seeing Nick also trapped in the darkness, especially here where he's begging Charlie to ask for help and both are enclosed in a black halo. This lighting choice reminds you that mental illness touches everyone. And this point is hammered home in the episode Journey, where Charlie goes to the eating disorder unit. Previous seasons have used blue and yellow to symbolise Charlie and Nick coming together. In Season 2, their relationship is represented by the colour green. When the couple is separated, so are their colours. It's just heartbreaking to see Nick alone, shrouded in this ominous purple-blue light. Meanwhile, Charlie wears intense yellows and oranges. The more isolated he feels, the more intense his self-loathing becomes, hence the brighter colours. There's also some beautiful non-linear storytelling. Throughout the episode, we cut back and forth between scenes of Nick's life without Charlie. The repetitive, quick edits make you feel trapped in Nick's grief. On the other hand, the narration in this episode was jarring. In case you're unaware, most of Season 3's dialogue was lifted from Volume 4 of the comics. There, Nick records Charlie's journey in a diary. This makes sense in a written medium, where journals and diaries are an established framing device. Here, though, Nick's narration interrupts the visual storytelling. It feels less like Heartstopper and more like Kit Connor giving a mental health PSA. Heartstopper has always used broad language to describe mental illness, gender, and sexuality. For example, Charlie mentions intrusive thoughts and compulsions, but we never learn details. You relate to the characters in Heartstopper by projecting your own feelings onto them. By not covering specifics, the show is less likely to alienate or cause offence. Volume 4 walks a fine line between describing Charlie's illness tactfully while telling a compelling story. The episode doesn't manage this. In this very visual series, narration breaks the flow. You're reminded that you're watching fiction, and descriptions of Charlie's illness feel more educational than emotional. If I were making this, I would have used Tao's home movie as a framing device. We cut from characters speaking a message to Charlie, to them grieving for Charlie, and then finally back to Charlie himself. Still an amazing episode though. And if you're sitting down watching this, please get up immediately and give Kit Connor a standing ovation because, wow.
Wow.
Moving on to the rest of the cast, let's talk about Isaac. As an Arrow Ace person, I heard my community complain until their throats hurt last year about Isaac being ignored in Season 2. And apparently Netflix heard too, because this season, Isaac's entire arc is him complaining that his friends ignore him because they're in romantic relationships. And Isaac worries that he'll be abandoned while everyone else pairs up a la Noah's Ark. Okay, before I rant, let me be clear. Whatever Heartstopper did with Isaac, we aces were never going to be happy, because Isaac is one of the only Arrow Ace people on television. And just like the trans community, we aces are very diverse. Heartstopper could never represent all of us. However, by trying to fix Isaac's problem, the team have accidentally made it worse. Because now, the most important thing about Isaac is that he's not in a relationship. Arrow Ace people experience little or no romantic or sexual attraction, sure, but this identity isn't limiting the way this storyline implies. Being Arrow Ace actually gives you freedom and opportunities. I'm just sad, to be honest, that our newest representative is being used to explore the deficits of being asexual. Being Arrow Ace comes with its own culture and milestones, like finding a queer platonic partner, raising fur babies, career fulfillment, cake, taking over the world one country at a time, starting with Denmark. Yes, fear and loneliness are part of this journey, but it would be lovely to see something positive done with Isaac. Or just, something that isn't about his relationship status. Because when you're trying to say that compulsory allosexuality is a bad thing, and this is the only thing you have to say about your asexual character, you have missed the point. However, Isaac is only a symptom of a much bigger problem with Heartstopper Series 3. This season has too many characters. In the books, Charlie and Nick are the main characters. The others just make peripheral appearances which complement the central plot. The show tries to juggle competing plots about the three couples. And now we've added Isaac, Tori, Imogen and Sahar to the mix. So it's very noticeable at the start of Season 3 when the other characters are just pushed aside. Season 3 tries to have its cake and eat it too by writing storylines for each character, while making Nick and Charlie the main focus. The end result is messy. Every other plotline feels underdone due to the limited runtime. By the end of the season, we're going at a frantic pace, spending 2 minutes with one couple, 2 minutes with another, until I feel dizzy trying to keep up. The most egregious example is at Charlie's party, where Imogen is pouring her heart out to Nick about Sahar, and Nick just says, you should probably talk to her. And then we cut away. Like, really, Nick? Is that all you've got? And then again, he is burnt out from helping Charlie, so I get it. We really needed an episode devoted to each character, but with such a big cast, this just isn't possible. And the biggest victim of this is Sahar, who, on TV and in the comics actually, is just underused. Apart from her on-again, off-again relationship with Imogen and her music, I know nothing about Sahar. Other characters also suffer from not having enough screen time to flesh them out. For instance, did anyone else find it really weird that Elle has no reaction to Charlie's illness in the first 3 episodes? I mean, yeah, she's in the honeymoon phase, and yes, mentally ill people do hide their struggles, but Elle saying nothing while Tao and Isaac are worried just feels wrong. Darcy's non-binary angle is nice, but undercooked. I went on this journey last year, so when Darcy announces that they want to try they/them pronouns, I was thinking, that's it? What about all the months of Googling, quizzes and YouTube videos? What about the crippling self-doubt? Then again, Darcy's way more self-assured than I am, so maybe I'm projecting. All in all, Heartstopper is exceptionally good as ever, particularly the Nick and Charlie angle. I worry though that, like Nick this season, Heartstopper is putting too much pressure on itself to represent as many queer experiences as possible. Take your own advice, Heartstopper. You don't have to be all things to all people. Just give us a few strong, character-driven stories and make them as gay as possible. We will still love you. You're a national treasure now. Thanks for watching Lingua Anomaly. Don't forget that overthinking is a superpower, and there is beauty in the way that you think. The first 3 episodes are a visceral realization of mental illness. Sorry, what language was that? The first 3 episodes are a visceral... Okay, so I tried to record this before and it didn't work, so we're on our second try, that's why I'm not speaking English. In this very visual series, narration breaks, does it?